Francisco 49ers. Do we get a win or do we not get a win? I predict the Raiders get a W. That's right. Josh McDaniels had the team now for 2 years. We do pretty good in the preseason. I believe we'll beat the 49ers with our young talent, if they drafted correctly. Then we got the at the LA Rams for preseason game number 2. Bam! Raiders get another victory. We 2-0 in the preseason. Then we got the big game at the Cowboys. They're a good team. The third preseason game is when they test their starters. Remember Josh McDaniels, what he did last year in the early preseason games? Didn't even play any of his starters. Will he do that again this year? I doubt it. But I think Brian Hoyer, Aiden O'Connell will be the quarterbacks for these games, and I think they're good enough to get a victory. Do we beat the Cowgirls? Yes, we do. We're 3-0 in the preseason. NFL is hyping up Josh McDaniels. Good. Let's go, McDaniels. McDaniels in the Raiders. All these young rookie players look so good. They're so amazing. 3-0 in the preseason, baby. Now, just to let everybody know, the schedule on screen does not go down. It goes sideways. So the first game would be Denver, the next one would be Buffalo, and the third one would be Pittsburgh, and the fourth one would be the Chargers. So, even though your eye tells you it goes down and down and down, it goes sideways. Okay? Just want to let you know that. So, we play at Denver in week 1. They got Russell Wilson, Mr. Unlimited. They got a new head coach in Sean Payton from the Saints. They got a Raider quarterback as the backup. That's right. Remember the guy that everybody loved last year? Go Stiddy. Let's go Jared Stidham. And they got a couple of other Raiders on their squad as well. Maybe Cleveland Farrell's one. I don't know. Long story short, we're playing in the altitude in Denver with a bunch of young players, and they probably have our playbook. And Sean Payton is a better coach. Do with it what you will. Do the Raiders beat the Broncos in week 1? I know it's a divisional game. And hopefully we can at least win or go 1-1 against every divisional team. Do the Raiders get a victory? Again, this is my positive. The Raiders lose. That's right. The Raiders lose. They ain't up to it. They ain't ready. He probably didn't play Jimmy Garoppolo all preseason. Threw Garoppolo into the fire in week 1 at Broncos. Sean Payton's a better coach. The altitude got to the young players. Josh Jacobs, is he on the roster? Is he still holding out? I'm just being honest. They got a good defense. We were in a lot of games last year, under 7 points. I pick it as a loss. Then we go to Buffalo. Josh Allen, very well coached team, should have been in the Super Bowl one of these past 3 years. Do we get a victory versus the Buffalo Bills? No, we do not. They are an all-around better team. Now, Sunday Night Football, our first primetime game versus the Steelers. And we're going to probably stay on the East Coast that entire 2 weeks before that game. Will Josh McDaniels make everybody fly back home, then practice, then fly back to Pittsburgh? I don't know what the choices will be. But we could have beat Pittsburgh last year. That was the Derek Carr game where he basically got benched and they think he lost it for us and whatever. But can we beat the Steelers? I think we beat the Steelers. I don't know who their quarterback is really. Their running backs, they got a new one, I believe, or if they're going to pan out. They're a good team, though. But I think we can pull it all together against the Steelers in a big game. Now, we're playing at Chargers at the LA Chargers, the stupid Chargers, in week 5. Chargers are a good team. We beat them with the Rich Bisaccia team, but they always play us very, very well, and it is one of those games that you would love to be at. Do we beat the Chargers? Yeah, we do. We beat the Chargers. We're now 2-2. Things are looking up for the Raiders. Then we go to Monday Night Football versus Jordan Love. Garoppolo and Jordan Love. And is that at home? I think it says versus. Yeah, it says versus. So it's at home. So it's the first home game of the season for the Raiders. Right? Or it's the Pittsburgh Steelers the first game. All right, guys. I'm sorry. The screen is so small on my end. Forgive me for some of the mess ups. You know what? Let me. That gets me. Let me just quickly look at this. I think I have the roster that I can bring up to get a better view that I can read. Yeah, the Pittsburgh game is Sunday Night Football. And we win because that's at home in the third week. We finally come home in the third week. Then we're at LA Chargers, and like I said, we get a victory there. Then we're at home for the Monday Night Football versus the Green Bay Packers. Guys. And their team is depleted. This is call it the Devontae Adams revenge game. Whatever you will. They got a young quarterback, Jordan Love. Do the Raiders get a victory? We do. We beat the Green Bay Packers. We have now won 3 in a row coming into our biggest test of the season. The Patriots, we have to go to Foxborough or whatever, Gillette Stadium, whatever they call it nowadays. Kraft Stadium. We have to go to... Where's my schedule again? No, the New England's at home. My goodness. Sorry, guys. I have to look at it. It's not showing up very well. So, New England's at home. All right. What a game. What a game for Josh McDaniels, guys. What a game. What a game to solidify that he's a better coach than Bill Belichick, that we're a better team, that he got the better quarterback, because Bill Belichick always wanted Garoppolo. Do we beat the Patriots at home? That's going to be a ruckus game. So, do we give the game to the Patriots? Or do we prove we're the new Patriots? Sorry, guys. It's just confusing me. We beat the Patriots. We beat the Patriots. That's right. Then we go to Chicago. We should be able to beat Chicago. Even they're an up-and-coming team. We should be able to beat Chicago. And now the Raiders have literally won 5 in a row, according to my positive results. Again, this is barring that everything goes right for Josh McDaniels, Garoppolo, injuries, all that other stuff. That all of those close games that we lost last year are coming to our favor this year. We have now won 5 in a row, going into another Monday Night Football game versus the Detroit Lions. I believe that is in Detroit. They are a good team, and anything can happen with that team. They are an up-and-coming team. We've won 5 in a row. That's going to be a big Monday night game because they probably have won, 5 or 6 or 4 games at least by that point. Do we beat the Lions? No. It's in Detroit. It's a big game for Detroit. I see them beating the Raiders somehow, by any means. Now, I think we're going to stay on the West Coast. Sorry, the East Coast. No, but we're coming back home again. I'm kind of looking at the roster just like you guys did. Now we play the Giants in the Darren Waller revenge game. And they know our system. Darren Waller knows it a little bit, and he'll help out the Giants, and they're an up-and-coming team. Do we beat the Giants? The G-Men? No. We're on a downward spiral. We won 5 in a row. Now we've lost 2 in a row. Now we got Aaron Rodgers on Sunday Night Football. Do we beat the Jets? No! This is going to be a streaky season for the Raiders. We lose to both New York teams, one after the other. There's a lot of little scenarios in between each game that I can't think of. But now we got the Dolphins. And is Tom Brady part ownership of the team? This is, I believe, in Miami. Do we beat the Miami Dolphins? Yeah, we beat the Miami Dolphins. We beat the Miami Dolphins. We're now 6-4. I'm sorry, 6-5. We're now 6-5, basically a little bit better than 500. Now we got our rival, Kansas City Chiefs, at home, where they did the merry-go-round, the carousel at our home stadium in a revenge factor. These are the Super Bowl champs. We only won 1 game against them with Gruden a couple years back. We played them hard last year, but we all know what happens. Do we beat the Kansas City Chiefs? No. We are now 6-6. That's right. What a good time to have the bye week. And I appreciate that the bye is happening later rather than earlier. I appreciate that as a person. I appreciate that. I just hate that the bye week is in week 13. I would have rather it be in week 10, 11. Week 13 seems a little bit late, but with my predictions, we're kind of 6-6. We're on a downward spiral. We're a 500 team, and it'll give us a leg up. And we're at home pretty much those 3 weeks. So we're going to be at home for the Kansas City game. That's a week or two. Then the bye week, that's a week. Then we come to see the Minnesota Vikings at home again. Then we got the Chargers at home. It's basically like a 5-week stretch at home. This is where the season is going to be won or lost for the Raiders. It's these 4 or 5 weeks at home or in the area. So in week 14, we place the Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins always seems to play good. They are a spurry team. They almost always make the playoffs. Do we beat the Vikings coming off of a bye? Is Josh McDaniels going to create a history like Andy Reid, where every year coming off the bye we get a victory? He did last year. Hopefully we do it again this year for 2 years in a row. Do we get a victory versus the Vikings? Yeah, we come out strong, y'all. We come out strong. Then we got Thursday Night Football just 4 days later. Thank goodness we got the bye week to get all that rest. So we got a game 4 days later in week 15 versus the LA Chargers at home in Vegas. Do we get a victory? Hopefully we can get 2 victories against the Chargers. Do we get a victory? Yes, we do. We go 2-0 against the Chargers. We go 2-0 against the Chargers. We're now 8-6. We're in the playoff hunt. Then we got to go at Christmas or Christmas Eve to Kansas City. They're always in the playoffs around this time. They're vying for position, for playoff supremacy, to have home games for top of their division. Do we beat the Kansas City Chiefs to make it 3 in a row? No. Sorry, guys. Until it's done, I'm not going to give it a credit. We lose to the Kansas City Chiefs on Christmas. All right? Sorry, guys. We are now 7. What are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are now 8-7. Is it 8-7? Yeah, we're now 8-7. Going into the final 2 games for a wild card spot. We have to play the Colts. We got to go to the Colts. They got that young roster. If that rookie quarterback is still there in week 17, they beat us last year, even with a bad coach. They beat us last year with a bad coach. Imagine what they could do with a good coach and a good quarterback. And they got a great defense. Do we beat the Colts? No! We lose to the Colts because it's playoff time and Josh McDaniels makes ridiculous decisions and we lose to the Colts. We are now, what are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're 7-9. I'm sorry, we're 7 and what? My math is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are 8-8 going into the final game. We are 8-8, and you probably got to win 9 to 10 games to make a wild card in the AFC. I'm going to say 10 games, but there was a playoff team last year that got in with 9 wins. So we got a big game versus the Broncos at home. Do we go lose a second game to the Broncos, or do we beat them to hopefully get a wild card? We beat the Broncos, guys. We beat the Broncos. Okay? So we end up... Goodness, this screen keeps pausing on me. So we end up, what is the record? 9-8. And we make the playoffs. We end up 9-8 and make a wild card, according to my positive predictions. What do you guys think for your predictions? Let me know the official roster. I believe we go 9-8 and make a wild card. Michael F., you got 11 wins. Colts scare me. They do me too, Michael F. Truth Monster, send some Las Vegas hooer to Reed, shoots, and knock him off balance. Oh, to Andy Reid sweet and knock him off balance. I don't do no violence on anybody, Truth Monster. Don't do no violence on anybody. Threw 5 double leads last year due to coaching. All right, let me know your guys' actual numbers of victories below and my positive predictions with Jimmy Garoppolo hopefully not getting injured and everything going right for the Raiders. We win 9. We go 9-8 and we make a wild card, the final position. That's my positive prediction, guys. Big Tone, you got us going 10-7. Mike G, 7 wins, 10 losses. Much better than the record showed. Again, so how many games did we win last year? 6? Was it 6? This is basically a 3-game improvement. You got us going 9-8. Narmosh, you got us going 4-14 or 5-13. You guys are tough just like me. All right, guys. Now, this is my tanking, my guru prediction if the NFL doesn't rig the season for the Raiders. Based off of everything I saw with Josh McDaniels last year and his draft picks and how he wanted to get a quality quarterback, but we didn't get in the top 3 spots to get one of those quality quarterbacks. And this is barring that Tom Brady doesn't become the quarterback of our team. And that Josh Jacobs probably doesn't sign early, struggles early, Garoppolo gets injured. Again, too many scenarios. But because I am a half glass empty person with the Raiders, I decided since I'm 2 people, I can be the positive Raider, Mikey Raider, or I could be the truthful Mikey Raider in the state of which I'm in right at the moment. And that's disgruntled and salty. So, I gave you the best prediction a minute ago. The best case scenario for the Raiders. From my heart, from my fandom, the Raiders go 9-8 if everything goes right. But we are the Raiders. And we know what happens to the Raiders. We know. We saw it all last year with Josh McDaniels, how we broke records on giving up points after halftime. We lost 6, 7 games by less than 7 points. How does that happen? These are conspiracies. These are ridiculous negatives that affect our team. We lose John Gruden because of an email of calling somebody a tire because tires are black. We lost our head coach. We don't even sign Rich Bisaccia. He's selling the team to Tom Brady. We all know what happens to the Raiders. So, barring my good predictions and my positive predictions of everything that can go right, let's go into the probably truest form of the Raiders. And let me do my prediction of this is what will probably happen to the Raiders. I give it a 51% chance. But we all know with the Raiders in our history, this is a 60% possibility. Let's do it. All right, preseason. We'll start with preseason. We play the 49ers. Do we win versus the 49ers? Yes, we do. Do we beat the LA Rams? Yes, we do. And we also beat the Cowboys. That's right. Just like the last scenario, we're 3-0. Raiders are hyped up. We're ready for the season. We got on our beanies. We're representing. Josh McDaniels and the rookies look good. And just like the last scenario, we are ready for week 1 versus the Broncos. This is our year. We're going to go to the Super Bowl. Then we play the Broncos. And we beat the Broncos. Oh, my God, are you kidding me? In the last scenario, we lost to the Broncos. This scenario, we beat the Broncos. Why? Because we on a positive momentum kick. Raider Nation is up in arms. We win the first game, blah, blah, blah. Then we face the Bills. Do we beat the Bills? No. We shouldn't beat the Bills. They are a much better team all around. We're still positive, though. We're going into Sunday Night Football versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. At home. Our first home game. Raider Nation comes out. We representing. Let's go. We lose to the Steelers. We lose to the Steelers. Then Garoppolo gets injured in that game. Garoppolo gets injured in that game. It came down to the end and he got injured in the fourth quarter on a drive where we were going to score or go up 10 points. And then he gets injured and he leaves the game, and then they take a kickoff return and they score 7 points to beat us in the final 50 seconds, and they win. And they win. Oh no. Now we got the Chargers. We got the Chargers in LA, home game for the Raiders. What's going to happen? Do we beat the Chargers? Oh, we lose to the Chargers. Are you kidding me? Why do we lose to the Chargers? How do we lose to the Chargers? I don't know what happened to my screen. Sorry, guys. Let me get my screen back. We lose to the Steelers. Then we play the Chargers. We lose to the Chargers. Sorry, my screen is just really messing up. Then we lose to the Chargers. Oh, no, we've lost 3 in a row. How do we lose to the Chargers at home? They are a good team. Then we got Green Bay. Monday Night Football. They got Jordan Love, but we don't have a quarterback because, remember, he got injured. He's at least gone 3 or 4 weeks. Garoppolo. So we had to put in Hoyer. But Hoyer didn't play so good versus the Chargers. He didn't play so good. So they're thinking about testing out Aiden O'Connell versus the Green Bay Packers on Monday Night Football. Is this at home? Yeah, we got the Packers at home. Monday Night Football. So we got a rookie quarterback versus basically a rookie quarterback in Jordan Love. Do we beat the Green Bay Packers in the Devontae Adams revenge game? Yeah, we do. We do. Devontae Adams makes a miracle play, catches the ball at the end, and he catches 20 catches in that game, and we win by 4 points. Oh, all is good in Raider Nation. All is good. All is good. We're having the time of our life. We've won 2 games in a row. All right, we got the Patriots. We got the revenge game coming up in Vegas. We're going to take over. We're going to start a dynasty. It all starts now. We play the Patriots. Josh McDaniels. The Patriots know everything about the Raiders. We don't have Jimmy Garoppolo. We got Aiden O'Connell and Devontae Adams, who made a miraculous play to win us versus Green Bay. Now we play the Patriots. We play the Patriots. Oh, goodness. We lose to the Patriots. We lose to the Patriots because they need a win. Josh McDaniels tanks the game. Tanks the game, makes all these bad decisions, and helps the Patriots win. Even though we were still in it with Aiden O'Connell or Brian Hoyer. But we're possibly getting Jimmy G back versus Chicago. So our season is still not over. Even though we're 4-2, our season is not completely lost. Our season hinges on basically the next 3 games. We got news that Garoppolo might come back and play versus the Bears. But he aggravates something and he decides to not play that game. And we play the Bears. And we beat the Bears somehow. We got a better team. We beat the Bears. The Raiders are now 4-3. Now we go on Monday Night Football versus the Detroit Lions. Jimmy Garoppolo is officially back. He's officially back from whatever injury, hanging out with the hookers. Now we face the Detroit Lions in Detroit to Travel Day Monday Night Football. And we lose to Detroit. They are so good. We are now 3-5, and our season is pretty much in the balance. Josh McDaniels is thinking about tanking because we've only won 3 games, and that would get us a top 3 draft pick of a quarterback in next year's draft if he tanks the rest of the season. Should he? Shouldn't he? Garoppolo is no longer an option. He got injured again this season, and he didn't play so good against Detroit when he came back from injury. Now there's a possibility that we can be in the top 3 drafting for a quarterback in McDaniel's 3rd year. Will he tank? That's the questions going into the New York Giants game from all Raider fans. Playing against Waller and the pretty good G-men. And we lose to the Giants. We have now lost 6 games. You have to be at least 9-7 or 9-8 to get a wild card. We've now lost 6 games. Ugh. All right. We play the Jets with heart, with everything we can muster. Garoppolo comes out strong, but Aaron Rodgers proves he's the better quarterback. And the Jets beat us. We have now lost 7 games and only won 3. The chances of making the playoffs are probably 15%. We have to basically win out to make the wild card. This is the official tanking point of knowledge for the Raiders and McDaniels. And all the rumors are they're tanking. They've lost 3 in a row. They're going to tank for the top 3 pick or top 4 pick to get a quarterback. And now we face the Miami Dolphins. And we lose to the Dolphins. Now the tanking is real. The season is over. We pay the Kansas City Chiefs. We lose to the Kansas City Chiefs. And you all know what's going on from there. Now we go into the bye week. Jimmy Garoppolo is benched. They're going to play Aiden O'Connell the rest of the season to see what they got. And Jimmy Garoppolo's future is up in the air, just like Derek Carr's was last year, because Jimmy Garoppolo has lost basically the past 5 games. Now, because Aiden O'Connell won a game early with the help of Devontae or whoever, that they want to test him out. So now Aiden O'Connell is our quarterback for the future, and we come off the bye week. We played the Vikings, and we lose to the Vikings. And then we got Thursday Night Football a couple of days later for Aiden O'Connell or Brian Hoyer or whoever else. Season's over. Why put Jimmy Garoppolo back in? Or they might put him in just to save face. Do we beat the Chargers? Yeah, we do. Somehow. They put Garoppolo back in. We get a victory just to quiet the storm, to get our 4th victory of the season, because all the other teams have won 3 or 4 as well. So we're still in that top 4 or 5 category to get a draft pick, maybe a quarterback. Then on Christmas Day, we play the Chiefs. And, of course, we're going to lose that game. Then we play the Colts. And if we're tanking, the proof will be in the next couple games. Then we lose to the Colts. Then we play the Broncos. And depending on what the other teams have done in the league, meaning the teams that have lost 4 or 5, they've only won 3 or 4 or 5 games, depending on that scenario, do we beat the Broncos? Yeah, we beat the Broncos. Just to save face, to look like it's going to be a better season next year. And we basically go, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We go 5-12. That's right. That's my tanking. That's my what really happens to the Raiders scenario. Again, we thought he was tanking this past year, and they still ended up winning 6 games, I believe. But next year, and we won 6 games, and we ended up with the 7th spot. So if we would have won 5, we would have had the 4th or 5th or 6th spot in the draft. So you technically should need to probably lose or only win 4 games to have a top 3 or 4 pick. So I think that's what Josh McDaniels will do. At some point in the season, Garoppolo will get injured. They will test out Hoyer and O'Connell. And at some point in the season, all is going to be lost for the Raiders. So they're going to start playing their rookies, getting them up to speed. And we're going to be tanking for a top 3 or 4 draft pick. And possibly getting another quarterback going into his 3rd year. That's my prediction of probably the truest scenario for Josh McDaniels from a salty fan. But my other prediction, if everything goes right, is 9-8, and with everything here, 5-12. Hope you guys had fun while we went through that crazy theory of what truly seems to happen to our Raiders all the time. Just being honest. Just being honest. All right, guys. We're going to come right back. Please consider hitting that super chat button.